Good evening, everybody. Please join us in standing for the Pledge of Allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Aaron, will you please take the roll? So we can meet the number.
Councilmember District.
Here.
Councilmember Pointer.
Here.
Councilmember Sherburne.
Here.
Councilmember Gray.
Here.
Councilmember Schmidt.
Here. Okay, first item tonight, there's no changes to the agenda. Anybody have any changes or? Okay, with that, I need a motion to approve the agenda. I move to approve the agenda.
I'll second.
Okay. Any other questions before I ask for vote? Okay, Linda?
Yes.
Joe?
Yes.
Bill?
Yes.
Brian?
Yes.
And Mary Ann?
Yes.
Okay, next it's our public input period. Please come to the podium and state your name and address for the record before proceeding with any comments. Individual remarks are limited to 5 minutes. With the overall input period limited to 30 minutes under Iowa Open Meetings Law, the council can take no formal action on comments given during the public input period which do not relate to action items on the agenda. Does anybody like to speak to the council?
Jay Schmidt, 750 Ridgewood Drive, Manchester. I'd like to talk about the rental units and bed bugs. We have rental properties ourselves, that's what we do. And what new ordinance says of bed bugs, bottom line is the landlord has to pay to get rid of them. And the city needs to have some skin in this game. All this furniture left out front, people grab it and bring it in their house. That goes on constantly in town. I'll give you an example. Outside in the house, guy across, or the gal next to me her boys took a couch out, put it in front of her house. 15 minutes later, the guy across the street and his wife go over and get the couch, put it in their house. So they bring their couch out, put it in front of their house. And a guy in a 4-wheel drive truck come over, probably an hour later, he picked it up. That's where these bed bugs are coming from, all this furniture moving around. But that's not being addressed here. And the bottom line, our houses are clean and I can't control what people bring into their houses, but the city needs to do an ordinance against this furniture floating around. Because the bed bugs are in the furniture, they're a lot of times in mattresses. There's no ordinance against mattresses no more. They're constantly being moved around. I see all that stuff. And why should the landlord have to pay to get rid of the bed bugs when people bring them in? I was talking to a landlord about 8 or 10 years ago. He had bed bugs. Cost him $1,500 to get rid of them. The lady brought them in with furniture. And she didn't have the $1,500, so he signed a contract with her she'd pay $100 every month to pay that bill. And she did, and she paid it, and everything went okay. But if you be in the rental business, you can see there isn't that much money in this rental business, and you gotta start springing for $3,600. That's what it costs to get rid of bed bugs out of a house nowadays. And it can be higher. Depends on if you gotta use chemical or if you gotta use the heat treatment. Heat treatment's a lot higher. But you people need to think about this before you vote on it so quick. If I wouldn't have seen the meeting on the video, I wouldn't even known about this. That's why it's important to have these videos. I'm glad we finally got it. That's all I got to say.
Thank you. Anybody else?
Kevin Shaw, hi, 109 Evans Avenue, Manchester. Same thing is, I dealt with bed bugs before. And I tell my tenants when they first move in, because with my apartment complex, I actually have Terminix comes in and they certify that there is no bed bugs in there. And if they bring it in there, cut roughly $300 for the complex. And then I do it over in Farley too.
Mm-hmm.
And because I know on a state level, they claim that a house or a duplex, I don't have to do that.
Mhm.
And so because they know where it came from. And so then they're responsible for that. But if I did do it on a complex and I went everywhere, then yeah, you know, one person don't know where the other one is. But that's why I take because we have pest control once a month. Quarterly, bed bug dog, and the people that are doing pest control, if somebody has an issue, whatever, they address it that day. So I have it every month. And so this way, it's not cost me because, we had somebody on East Marion, this was many years ago, picked up like he was saying, picked up a thing, they knew that they had bed bugs, set it outside, they in ahead, walking it down to my place. Next thing you know, and that's before I actually, was doing that, then after that, then I implemented to have the dog come. And even my own parents, they went to Meskwaki, brought bed bugs back to their house, and it took twice in order for them to get rid of them, and that, again, about $5,000. And, but Meskwaki still hasn't dealt with it. So after that, they never actually even went back, because they, you have to, they're making enough money where they can, deal with things. But there's already stuff on the books already through the state. And it's just like, mice or whatever, that's where you have to come in, and that's why I have Terminex. And if they deem that it is because of the tenant having trash or numerous clothes around or whatever, then they have to pay for the pest control.
Right.
And so I know that I talked to Erin, and she's claiming that, the article isn't right. It kind of got misread. So you guys are not actually gonna adopt the law for us paying for it, or?
Right.
All right, so that's what I wanted to, being sure where I don't wanna come down the road and, have to get other people involved to, knowing that it is not gonna go on there, because I try to do my due diligence with the pest control and the Terminex coming in and out every quarter, and then I have to actually post that when they're coming. And then they got a list of stuff they do, because the dog has to, be able to smell just the bed bugs, not candles, all that stuff. So I try to get things in, on an average, I think it's about $300 for the complex here. A little more over in Farley, but otherwise just want to make sure that that doesn't go on top of us.
Right.
So, but because I know my tenants has, and one, there was one tenant that, I don't know what it is, but she was always picking stuff, the St. Mary's Church in, Ryan, they had a recliner there.
St. Pat's, yep.
Yeah, got that, had bed bugs in it. So then they had to address, make sure they didn't have any there where they was storing it. And so, but she numerous, went over to the same house that was on Marion Street and, complained, and she actually went to court. Because you can't just go out to Walmart and get rid of them. And she actually lost, in court, because it's not, that's a nuisance, it's not a threat to anybody's life.
Right.
All right.
Okay, thank you very much, Jim.
All right.
Anybody else tonight? Okay, hearing none, I'm gonna close the public input period. And before us, we will go to the consent agenda. Our first item on the consent agenda is approval of the minutes from the July 14th regular city council meeting. I need a motion to approve that. I need a motion to approve resolution 69, approving the bills and expense report. Next, I need a motion to approve the request of the Walk to End Alzheimer's Committee to close south portion of South 12th Street. Do you want to address this, Jim?
You missed.
Oh, I missed the, oh, I'm sorry. I need a motion to approve the following liquor license application. This is for, it's called Liquor and Tobacco Outlet.
Old Pronto.
The old Pronto, that. Okay. Next, I need a motion to approve the request for the Walk to End Alzheimer's Committee to close south portion of South 12th Street, beginning on the south side of FSA's driveway. What's FSA?
Farm Service.
Oh,
Agency.
Farm Service Agency, 7:30 to 10:30 on September 20th for the Walk to End of Life. And then I need a motion to approve the request of the Manchester Chamber of Commerce to close the 100 and 200 blocks of East Main Street and the 100 block of South Franklin Street from 3 to 9 p.m. on December 4th for the window walk. I need a motion to approve the appointment of it's actually Audrey. Autumn Delmeyer, there she is, to the Planning and Zoning Commission. She'll be replacing Jay Reader, who has moved outside the city limits. And that is all I have. I'll take a motion and a second, and then we'll open it up for discussion.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
All right, any discussion or questions? Hearing none. Bill?
Yes.
Mary Ann?
Yes.
Linda?
Yes.
Brian?
Yes.
And Joe?
Yes.
All right, next, we need a motion to proceed with the third consideration and final adoption of ordinance 4. And this is regarding, the police department going under, the daily supervision of the city manager. There's a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second it. Any other questions or comments on this before we do this? Because this will be our final.
Are you sure this is what?
Okay, Joe?
Yes.
Linda?
Yes.
Brian?
Yes.
Bill?
Yes.
And Mary Ann?
Yes.
Okay, next. I need a motion to proceed with the second consideration and adoption of ordinance 5, and that's pertaining to the rental housing code. I'll take a motion in a second, and we can open it up for discussion, or
Well, let's just talk.
you want to just talk about it
I was
first?
gonna say, Tim, can you go ahead and read the adjustment we're making on the, make
Yeah.
sure that there's clarity there?
The ordinance amendment we're proposing here,
And I did give you a sheet.
Mhm.
as you can see, the highlighted yellow, it adds one sentence. And it's under the section 160.02 housing quality standards, subsection 11 sanitary condition. Subsection A, which was previously in the code, says the dwelling unit and its equipment must be in sanitary condition and free of vermin and rodent infestation. The next sentence is the only thing we're adding to this code. Subsection B is the dwelling unit and its equipment must be in sanitary condition and free of insect infestations, including but not limited to bed bugs, fleas, and other pests. Now, this does not say who is responsible for the payment on this. I understand we want to provide clean housing to renters. We understand things happen. People bring things in. There's an issue of why bed bugs are prevalent. But when there's an infestation, something needs to be done. We can't just ignore it. So how do you get it taken care of? And that's really where, if you have a lease with a tenant, you can specify in that lease who's responsible if they bring in bed bugs. And that way it puts an onus on the tenant. It's a little easier to do, much easier to do on a single family or a duplex ratio, as opposed to a multifamily apartment complex, because of Jim Shaw mentioned earlier, he has to treat the entire building, because you can't just isolate out. With a single family, you obviously know where it came in from and who does that. For us, this is really no different than fixing a broken window. The furnace that's not working, you know, it's something that needs to be fixed or maintained prior to renting it to somebody else.
But as a city, we are not stating that is the requirement of the landlord.
That's exactly
That's
right.
the only language we're adding.
Right.
Now, a common thing that I've seen in USDA, I represent a lot of USDA rounds. But we'll have an addendum that failure to cooperate with treating is grounds for terminating the lease. So it's very clear if they don't let them in, which we have that happen sometimes. Because the landlord shouldn't have to be in there fighting to get in to get rid of the bed bugs.
True.
So there are provisions, and I think I gave an addendum as an example last meeting. And I think it's a good thing to add into a landlord's lease package to have that. Cause then you have the tools if you have someone who's not cooperating. If you have a good tenant, you'll pay to have it cleaned up and work with them not to do it. If you have one that's a problem, you have grounds to terminate the lease.
And I think that might have been what was captured of the misconception of the thing that we were saying that we were gonna hold the landlord.
But if the place is infested and nobody does it, they would eventually lose their ability to rent that unit until they fix it.
Right. But
Yeah.
that's between the landlord and the
Yes.
and the
Right.
tenant. Yeah,
We don't
Right.
want to be in that.
Right.
I just want to be clear.
Yeah, it was never the intent to put this on a landlord
Or put it on the city.
or put it on the city, yeah, right.
I would like to table this and have a meeting with the landlords in town. So they are familiar with this and something needs to be done about this furniture that gets set out and nothing's really done. And people are picking it up and taking it home. So we need to get some ground rules set for that.
Well, that's, are you talking about from just people who are rental properties or just any owner of town?
Anybody setting out stuff, because I know people do not want to get the tags because it costs money. They rather just let somebody else come and take it and have it for free. So I think we need to have a meeting with the landlords so they know how this is gonna be handled. Because I know a lot of them that do not understand what's going on. So it's possible that we could table this and have more discussion with, a meeting with the landlords.
It's up to the council.
Is that a motion?
Make a motion,
Yeah, I make a motion that we have a meeting with landlords, we can. approve
you
this.
make a motion to table the.
Yes, okay, I'm sorry. I'll make a motion to table this, Jim.
Just, can we set a date to reconsider this? Because the motion to table just sets it there, it doesn't bring it back. So if you want to say, bring this back at the second meeting in August, gives
So
us
you have time to have.
Have
a meeting
time to
with
have-
landlords.
meeting with the
Plus
landlord.
also provide them with the information for what they can put in their leases and everything.
If you're amenable to that, suggestion there,
Yeah, that sounds fair.
okay. That way we bring it back for consideration, but we have time then to put a meeting together with potential landlords.
And I also like it to be continuing on. I don't wanna say, oh, we're gonna take what we're gonna, that we
No,
can
not-
get around.
we wanna get it
about
taken
it.
care
Yeah,
of.
we wanna get it
Yeah.
taken care of.
Yeah.
Just
So-
for some clarity on that, we're looking to table the proposed change of the ordinance as it's written. Are we also looking to try and add anything as far as furniture being on curbs?
Well,
That's
that's.
two separate entities, so that's why.
It would be in a different code section.
Right, that's why I just wanted clarity on that, because to me, they seem like two separate issues,
Yeah.
so.
That would be a city.
Okay, so we will set up something or let the landlords, you have a list where everybody is.
Yeah, the motion hasn't been.
I'll second, because I've had many calls, this afternoon. Landlords wanting to, would like to speak to this, so I feel it. We should at least get that out.
Yep, and we have a list of landlords here from utility bills, so it'll be easiest for us to get information out of them. I think we have to be cautious. We can provide them the example, the addendum, to the lease agreement that you provided us, but
We can tell them that this is what Dubuque put in their packet.
Model language.
Model language, yeah.
and then show them what we're changing in the code. But cautious about giving legal advice.
Right.
And understand that we may miss a landlord because we don't necessarily know everyone.
Mhm.
We will do our best to get this information out.
Yeah, we have a pretty good handle with the rental registrations and then the, utility billing.
That sounds fair.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, any other further discussion or thing before we move on?
Just out of curiosity,
Still need to have the vote.
I know we'll have it.
just out of curiosity, Bill, do you have to do anything as far as bed bugs are concerned to sell something out of your store? As a brand new location?
We, out of our location, we're a little bit cautious as to where we're going. When people ask us to pick up their old bed, we sometimes will ask, is it infected? I have been in the houses where I've seen fleas jumping off the floors, so not just bed bugs. I mean, I've seen homes with bed bugs. We usually make them get it outside before we'll even go inside. And there again, we'll usually go inside, but it'll go just inside the door. If we know it's got bed bugs and they provide us with that information, we double bag everything. If it does not go in our garbage warehouse, it sits outside, we call the truck, please just come by, grab it. We just end up paying the extra for the disposal, and I can probably say half dozen times we've had to do that so far. I haven't seen much issue in furniture. But there again, it's not like we really throw away. It's not like we throw away a lot of furniture as far as we throw away garbage furniture. And there again, it seems like it depends on the home it's going to. Sometimes you can go in and you can see a path house where it's this wide and this high all the way through it. And sometimes we'll just actually refuse to take it because you can't get it out of there.
Right.
So to me, I think it's a good deal. I like what Jim said in that it should be the responsibility of the tenant per se, and that it's in the landlord's lease as far as that goes. I know of some apartments where we sometimes in our business, we call them runners, pack up in the middle of the night and so that would be my question to Jim. When you see or hear of a runner who packs up in the middle of the night and leaves the mess, and maybe Tim knows too, who takes care of that? I mean, basically that would have to go back.
Realistically, those people have no money to sue,
Right,
so the landlord ends up paying. That's the reality of what we see with our clients.
yeah, there's no way to find where they went to, they don't.
We hope you had enough deposit to cover.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Right.
And I think you guys too probably have issues with them running and not paying water bills or sewer bills, so it happens, it's just, but. Yeah, I'm not against tabling it for now.
I just want, knowing that you're in the furniture business, just the brand new compared to the used side. Used, there's obviously no regulations on it, but
Yeah.
I didn't know if there was any.
We hardly stick anything out to the curb, we never carry anything. A lot of times I'll go in somebody's pickup. And somebody will say, oh, I'm taking it out to the farm because I'm gonna put it in the shop and use it out there, so.
Wonder, at Camp Courageous, is there anything?
Crystal,
Done.
as Crystal said, that was one of the things we talked about, and that was before we even had all this other meetings, and it's just kind of come up. We were talking about other things for homelessness and everything else, and issues that have all been coming up since there's been so much fund cutting. And, when I met with, public health several months ago, they were saying that was one of the first things they did after we had that first meeting, is they put together a flyer that they sent out to Camp Courageous and all the people who take secondhand stuff and said, this is what you need to do with the materials when you get them prior to you putting them out for sale. You know, they said this is the safest way, because if you get them up to a high heat or you can set them out in some kind of storage where it's high heat prior for so many days, that's supposed to kill them and stuff like that. But that was sent out several, I think, February, maybe March, somewhere around there, I think. So anyway.
It'd be neat with our website. If we could post something like that, even on our city website, you know,
Yeah.
The medical information.
you know, people are looking up how to do their water bill and how to do this and. You know, maybe a way to help do that, so.
I think it also might help people that are just buying things like a garage sale. Because there are so many people that go in and buy all their baby clothes at a garage sale, it would be nice to know if that's safe.
Yeah, I mean, even at the garage sale, if it's not on the curb, it's in the driveway or garage, whatever it's being
So
sold.
it came out of their house. or
Came out of
somebody's
the house, could still potentially have, and there's not any way to really regulate that.
Mhm. So it'd just be nice to have the information about it.
Well, you can rub against somebody at Fairway, you can rub against at the theater or any
You're
place
gonna
else. Yeah, you're never gonna go in. Go to the theater or stay at a hotel. Yeah, stay at a hotel,
I'm
doesn't matter.
Katrina, we're both gonna sit on the couch and not do anything.
Yeah, exactly.
She doesn't like being out there on people, so.
Okay, I didn't call for a vote yet, so, Linda,
Yes.
Brian,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
Joe,
Yes.
and Mary Ann.
Yes.
Okay. Next, I have a motion for, let's see, a motion to approve, Manchester Public Library has gotten their bid from, for their system tonight. I'm gonna let you talk about this before we put it to a vote. Is that okay?
Okay.
Allison's here from the library. This is regarding your hayback upgrades.
Yes. So we received, initially I received a quote from both Delco and from Down and Walt. That was last fall, just so that we could get our SIP plan done. And we came up with, we thought it would be around $50,000 for both of them together, 40 for the one and for the boiler replacement, and then 10 for the air unit replacement. I also received one from Delco. It was significantly cheaper, but they weren't at the time replacing the pump, and the pump is always leaky, it leaks all the time when it's on. So when I asked for a new bid from them, they put the pump in so that there is a little bit of a difference between what it was last fall, and also all of the payment, the amount is more. He said 1 week it went up 12% in just 1 week. So I know he's dealing with that, but with all that said, it is, under what our budget was, the 50,000, at about 36, total. So that is what we're looking at. The boilers themselves, I don't know the age of any of the units, to tell you the truth. I've looked everywhere trying to find them. The other people have looked. We can't see them, but we assume they've been there for 30 to 40 years, the boilers. The air conditioning unit probably has not been there as long as that, but it needs tune-ups every year typically. So the system itself just needs to be a complete replacement for the boilers and just that one unit. I think we have 4 or 5 total. So just that one unit. And it's a smaller one, it's not a big unit, so. And then we also received notice that we will be able to get $800 for each boiler. So it will be, if we're just replacing it 4 with 3 of them. And so it will be $2,400 in rebate afterwards. So when we get done, I'll have the contractor help me fill out that paperwork, and then we'll get that from Black Hills.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Good. Any other questions for Allison?
Does this take care of all the heating and, I mean, cause it seems like. I feel sorry for you.
I mean, there's still like one that we worked on this year that needed Freon. You know, so I don't know that one, if, you know, the age of that one even, but it froze up, and that was in our meeting room and downstairs, so that one, I'll look at it, I'll have him kind of look at it and make sure we have 2 wall units as well, in the stack area. And those are not new by any means, so we'll just kind of look at all of them and think ahead, but our biggest unit was taken care of last year. So that was the main one that we were, that just stopped working. So that one we took care of last year and set up for this one this year, so it's not costing as much now as it would if we had to put all the extra wiring and all that stuff, so, yeah.
I would take care of it.
I hope it takes care of it for a while, because we've been dealing with this it will definitely for heating, like we will not have any issues for a while with heating, so, yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, if there's no other questions for Allison, I'll entertain a motion in a second.
I went so moved.
I will make it a second on that.
Is there any further questions or comments?
I'm just really happy with what that air conditioner bit is. I just replaced mine last year and it's not that far off too, so.
It's just a real small one, so we're lucky, I mean, it's not our big one, it's just, it cools a couple rooms and that's it, so that's nice.
Okay, Mary Ann,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
Brian,
Yes.
Linda,
Yes.
and Joe.
Yes.
Right, next I need a motion to award the contract for the airport runway rehabilitation project, River City Paving. And I might have- Did I miss the other one? I am so sorry.
The runway rehabilitation.
That's what I was thought.
You just didn't hurry.
That's what I was reading.
No, the infrastructure grant, it's the one right above it.
Authorize the mayor,
6.4.
or city manager.
6.5.
Okay, I'm sorry. Ever since I had my vertigo, my always, I'm sorry, I apologize.
No problem.
Okay, I need a motion to approve, the FAA fiscal year 25 airport infrastructure grant agreement. And do you want to speak to this, Tim?
Basically, what you're doing is authorizing the city manager to sign off on this grant agreement. The grant is 95% of the cost of what the project cost is. The contractor is willing to continue the bid price because that did expire on July 1st. We did reach back out to him to verify that they'll still honor that grant price or the bid price, and he is, so we can continue moving down this path.
I'm excited to finally get all this done with. I mean, ever since I've been sitting in this chair, the airport's been on our agenda, it seems like almost all the time, so. For that reason, and all the other facts that we have here, I make a motion to approve.
Is this that's the newest part of it, the 95?
Yes, that was part of our AIP grant the airport program. That's where we get our annual allotment, about $150,000. And then we also have some of the bilateral infrastructure loan law bill. We have funding that was going to expire if it was not used. And so this will be using both funding streams to cover that cost.
I will second it.
This is the grant they sent me that I can go ahead and sign then.
He signs it.
Well, okay, there was something they sent me that I.
Yeah, you'll sign off on it and the city attorney has to
I
sign
know,
it.
yeah, okay.
We passed the resolution tonight authorizing the city manager.
It says in there what we have to do. So
Right,
I'll-
okay. All right, but I knew I got something that I had to compare. Okay. All right, any other questions or comments, guys? Hearing none. Joe?
Yes.
Bill?
Yes.
Brian?
Yeah.
Linda?
Yes.
And Mary Ann?
Yes.
All right, now I'll try this. Motion to award the contract for the airport runway rehabilitation project to River City Paving in the amount of $461,884.70. And for a total bid, are we doing the drainage too?
Yes.
Yes?
That's included in that grant agreement.
Okay, so it's $508,084.70, which is under the engineer's estimate of $844,099.50. Can I take a motion? In a second, and we can talk some more.
I will make a motion to accept the bid from River City Paving,
We're awarding the contract.
awarding the.
And Brian, you want the second?
No, I was gonna ask, and is this the part where we are, trying to figure out what our match is, the 5%
The 5%.
is,
So it would be
and
five,
that amount is,
it'd be 5% of that.
Finally,
5 million. We put it here. So,
5,000.
$25,404. In some sense.
versus where we were at.
85,000 is what we budgeted. Because initially when we budgeted that was a 90-10, or match with a 10%.
I'm still looking for a second.
I'll second.
Okay.
What was the first, Bill?
Bill? Any other questions or comments? We got all your questions answered, Brian? Okay. All right, Bill,
Yes.
Joe,
Yes.
Mary Ann,
Yes.
Linda.
Yes.
And Brian.
Yes.
Okay. Next, I need a motion to accept the request for sealed bids to remove 14 trees and 9 stumps. And these were submitted by John Kepler, lowest bid of $8,300. Do you want to speak to this, Tim?
We just went out for bids on removing trees and stumps. We sent the quotes out to the 3 tree removal people we have. And John Kepler was lower bid on that.
I think we're really lucky to have 3 people that will bid this, and all 3 of them are amazing. I've worked with several of them and they are great. I'm really pleased by the bid. It seems high probably, but if you figure you're getting 14 trees, that's an amazing bid. So, thank you to everybody who bid, but, I would make the motion that we accept John Kepler's bid.
I'll second them.
Any other questions or comments? Hearing none, Mary Ann,
Yes.
Linda.
Yes.
Brian, Bill, and Joe.
Yes.
Sorry, I skipped right over you, Bill, sorry. All right, next, Sam, do you want to go first, since you were here first? Thanks, Allison.
Anderson Street, we're gonna have a meeting this week, Wednesday, Windstream reached out to have a meeting on site, to kind of go over their road move. Alliant may or may not be there, I'm not 100% sure, so we'll be meeting out on Anderson Street with them to kind of answer any questions, if they have any questions on behalf of the city's project. That'll be Wednesday morning at 10 o'clock, so we'll be, we should kind of park and meet by Baum Park and go wherever we need to from there. And yeah, Alliant, say, have you seen a permit at all yet or anything from them plans yet, Tim? Okay, cause I don't think they were targeting for August, but, so they should be doing plans and stuff in the city soon, and I believe they'll probably copy us on that, say, working with them the last few projects. Kind of know, usually it'll send us to kind of take a look at too, just to kind of have another second set of eyes. Then I do have, so this is just a quick, nothing fancy, but a storm sewer project. Kind of got the existing model put together, and this is at the intersection of Butler and Madison. So this shows, actually Jason Hayes, this was that Friday where we got all the rain. Got some pictures, Jason Hayes is actually out there and got a bunch of pictures. And then, the model, the blue in the model kind of shows, you can kind of see, it's just interesting, you can see how the model matches kind of what the pictures and where some of the flooding was. So that's what kind of our team did, based on the photos, they try to recreate kind of that event and based on the rainfall amount. So what they had kind of estimated that it was maybe like a 25-year rain event. So, you know, obviously that's, you know, up to your 100-year event is a biggie, obviously. So that's one thing we'll kind of look at and see how much, you know, using this information, kind of have all the existing stuff in place. The next steps to go and start looking at proposed options. Kind of like we talked, going south and outletting south of the West Marion Street Bridge. And then another option is, you know, going west down Butler. We still keep that line west down Butler and use that as kind of like an overflow. And then, you know, how big of a storm event can we capture? Can we capture that 25-year event and get that in pipes and get it out of there? So then at least that, so if that size storm happens again, it's not flooding that street, or can we not get a 25, you know, or can we go larger? So just kind of want to share that, just something kind of interesting. You can kind of see the flooding and kind of what the model looks like, the different shades of where the depth of water is. But outside of that, if anybody has any questions.
Is that what your goal is, and maybe shoot for a 25-year?
It's really all gonna depend on the size of the pipe that's gonna be having to go in the ground. So, you know, say if we can get, you know, an outlet pipe to be a 48-inch pipe, and we can maybe utilize the existing pipe going down Butler, and we can capture the 25-year, that'd be great. But, you know, if we get to the point where we're putting in a 60-inch pipe for the outlet, that might get fairly large, and what we'll likely end up doing is some sort of box culvert, rectangle box culvert that'll go on the sidewalks through the trail by the river, because we won't be able to raise that because it's in the floodway. So we'll have to try to get something that kind of drops down and then comes up underneath the trail. So.
Will this handle the same thing that's going on at East Butler? Is it Anderson or Stiles? It's not the way far east end.
On Anderson Street right there, as it
Yeah.
comes off that waterway. No,
Okay. So what do we do with that one?
there's not much we can do with that unless we want to spend a lot of money increasing the size of that culvert. Or we are looking right now at ways to reduce the flow coming into town.
Okay,
And so that was part of that study that.
that I knew they were working on. this.
RTA. What was it? RADA? What's the acronym for them?
Regional Transit.
Yeah, Kansas City.
Oh, out of Kansas City, okay.
Yeah, they were proposing a study and looking at ways for us to detain or retain a portion of that, so we reduce the flood rate in the city.
Gotcha.
So it's obviously a little bit more difficult to do than we'd like to make it, just because of, we're trying to capture water that's coming into town and slow it down before it goes through town. And so it reduces the flooding in town.
Thank you.
Oh, this is not 25 years. This happens, I don't know, about every 3.
I agree.
I work around the
I
corner.
work right around the corner, yeah.
So yeah,
Because it's up to your knees.
how big is the pipe now underneath? Ballpark?
So coming down, so there are all the intakes from Union Street, there's intakes from Union Street that come down Madison, and that's only a 12, and then it switches to a 15-inch pipe going west of Madison, and then once you get North Franklin, it's an 18 going down the river. So, you know, maybe, you know what, it's one thing where we're looking into, okay, do we need a 24-inch pipe? What is the 24-inch pipe? If we start with the 24-inch pipe at Butler and Madison, what does that convey? And then obviously picking up everything else as we go south. How big of, you know, how large of a pipe are we gonna have in the outlet? You know, if it's a case where, okay, say to capture the 25-year event, we need a 36-inch pipe that goes in at Butler and Marion. That's probably not gonna be feasible by the time we get all the way to the south. The pipe would be so large, or it might have to, you know, end up being a box culvert to get that in there. It's just, you know, then it's where we look at an option of, okay, do we go down Butler, or do we kind of go both directions? So that's kind of the next step, is looking at proposed options and different storm events. how big of an event can we capture? Obviously, we wanna try to capture the largest events possible, but it's all gonna just, it depend on how big of a pipe, how big a pipe I'm looking.
Up on the north end, few people have asked me if it's ever gonna get looked at. Quicker, well, would be the trailer court,
Mhm.
you know,
There's only one set of intakes that
yeah,
capture everything in that north end there.
right there, and it gets pretty deep. I've actually blocked it with my pickup before. Just because people tried to go through it, boom, dead car, it's too deep, so.
Yeah, the challenge is that we're gonna find a way to discharge that, and whether we go north and get easement or stormwater easement, if we go north, then you're putting it into the river on the north side, Honey Creek, right there. Or are we taking it straight west and dumping it down where Honey Creek has a confluence and with the Kokota? Either way, we're still extending a lot of pipe, and we're gonna get easements to put that in.
Okay, it's all done.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Eric.
Jason.
Back about that. Really not a whole lot, this evening, other than, you know, we're working on the check plans for the Grand Avenue Trail. DOT is currently reading the preliminary plans that we submitted, which are typical sections and that sort of thing up there on that. We're getting in coordination with the line going for street lighting out there along Grand Avenue and coincident, you know, and the trail is part of that, you know, a little bit up there. Still looking for check plans to go in September for January lighting at this point. So at this point, just waiting for some feedback from the state and then we'll be able to keep going. So, there's any questions?
Okay, thanks, Jason.
Thanks.
All right, Jim.
I haven't been this evening.
Okay, Jim?
I'm working with ECIA on a couple items. One of them, we're preparing a grant for the 2026 rural housing readiness grant. Basically, this is a housing study that we completed, a comprehensive housing study for the city of Manchester. They're good for about 5 years. Ours is coming up, it needs to be done again. With all the development we've had with new housing, we want to see where are we at as far as our needs for senior, affordable, mixed rate, whatever we have. So this would be something I'm working on with them. It's an expensive process, but it's a 50-50 match. So we're towards that with the grant, see if we get that accounted for. And I'm also working with them on a brownfield grant, working with the developer on a property in town to redevelop a property that has a dilapidated building sitting on it. So if we get a brownfield grant to help offset that cost, so they can get done with their asbestos abatement. There's a need to be abated. They can do the asbestos testing and then the abatement. And then we'll talk a little bit more about potential for redevelopment of that site. So those are 2 items that I'm working on right now on top of the other stuff that the engineers have discussed.
Any questions for Tim? Okay.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. Thank you, Aaron. So we've worked with Josh Demmer, the architect, on the shelter house for the ballpark. We will be going out for bids, quotes, excuse me. We're going out for quotes on those. We'll submit those out to 3 developers or contractors here in town. More, if there's some interest in that. Again, we understand we have a limit on that, so we have a couple items in there that are adjustable. Part of the plans, and we'll talk about this a little bit more at the committee next week. We do show an option for parking lot off in front of ballpark next to the shelter house, next to the well house, as an option. It may or may not go this time, probably not, but it gives us an idea how that concept could be put in place. So we do a parking lot in there maybe during if the bids come in good for Anderson Street.
Would that shelter,
Anderson Street, just
would that parking lot be north of the shelter then?
it's actually gonna be in front of it partially and then a little on the north side there. Because we don't want to interfere with the crosswalk that's up there, and we don't want to we want to minimize the number of trees we have to relocate or take down. But this will do 2 things. One, it'll make it a little easier for the guys to go check the well because they can park closer to the building instead of parking on the street. But 2, it makes it easier for people that want to have a picnic at the shelter. They can park closer to the shelter and carry stuff in.
And then there's a safety concept where they're not getting in and out of cars on the street itself.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yep. So I think it's a great idea. It'll be about 10 stalls. So it's a smaller lot, kind of like what you have on the east side of the park. But I think that will make things a little more efficient and better.
Remember that one.
Okay. Any other questions for Tim? All right, Aaron?
Nothing.
Okay. Brian? Oh, no, Chief. Get to go to Chief.
Don't really have too many since, somebody that thought was did show. I will remind all the council members that again, I know you guys did a lot of phone calls about things that the officers do, right? I understand that. I've been doing this a long time, I know how that works. I am available every day 8 to 4 off hours. I love body cameras, okay? If you have a question about what an officer did on the street, come down, I'll close the door, and I will let you watch it unadulterated, unedited, and completely make your own opinion about it. And if you have questions for me about why that interaction occurred the way it did, I can tell you 6 different ways, I'm pretty sure. I just told another citizen earlier last week, this information hurts the perception of what the officers are doing. It makes it extremely hard for them to go out and work with the public when misinformation continues to fly out there. It makes they already have a tough job, right? Much tougher than what I got. I get to sit in a chair and take complaints and look at video and do that thing. They have a very tough job. So that misinformation hurts them the moment they get out of the car. If they have a prerequisite opinion about them, they're already on an uphill path. So just again, if you guys get phone calls, you need to know, come see me. I will let you watch it, right? If you want to take it home, you got to fill out paperwork, but if you want to at least watch it and get firsthand knowledge of what they're doing and see the professionalism that they exude every time they get out of their car, I'm more than happy to let you watch it, so. Other than that, unless you guys have any questions for me. Okay.
It's fine.
I'm just gonna say thank you for all the ones I got to watch last week, so thank you very much.
No problem.
Brian,
Um,
nothing? Okay, Linda?
I have nothing now.
Okay, Marianne?
Well, I have two kind of fun ones. One is, I don't know how many people know this, so I'm going to repeat it, although it was on KMC. Last Wednesday on July 23rd, we had a free community pool day. And it is because of our Park and Rec, Doug Foley, RMC and Delaware County Public Health. And I think it was really neat that we had those 3 groups working together, and we need to do more of that where we work together. So I was pleased with that. Second thing is silly, but gotta tell you, gotta share it with you. My husband and I make about 7,000 trips to the compost pile every week. So our truck immediately goes there. We get the truck, it just drops there. So my husband went the other day without me. And he came back absolutely delighted because there was a mother out there with her child. And she was taking pictures of the child standing in front of the wildflowers.
I saw
And I thought, now, how many cities do we have where people are at the compost or at the wastewater treatment plant taking pictures of their kids? I mean, I was just delighted. So I just wanted to share that with people because I think that is really cool that Perry and his boys have done that. And that it is such a beautiful place. And if you have not seen it, please go look at them.
Gorgeous.
They are gorgeous.
We thought somebody doing senior pictures in front of it too.
I can believe it.
Yeah,
I can
so,
believe it.
yeah,
Yes,
it was
it
really
is
cool.
just beautiful.
I never thought in a million years you'd ever hear about somebody going out the wastewater plant. or-
That's what I thought. My husband and I laughed about it, but it's just pretty cool.
Out there about 3 years ago.
Did you
When
really?
we had the tall grass.
Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
Tall grass, we did.
Prairie grass.
Yeah,
Prairie
we
grass.
call prairie grass, we did a
Yeah.
bunch of it in front of that, so.
Yeah.
Well, that just goes to show you that the city employees work real hard to
They
make sure it
do.
looks nice out there, and I was actually gonna bring the, brush dump, are you done by that?
Yeah, you go right
I just
ahead
wanna
now.
make sure I wasn't.
Your turn.
I was gonna say, I was out the brush dump, and it seems like my vehicle goes that way quite often as well, but, they're keeping up a lot, I mean, I wouldn't say a lot better, but it's more noticeable this year than it was last year, it seems cleaner out there. Doesn't seem like
Yeah.
the dumping of, non-legal material out there has been, as bad as it has been in the past. and stuff.
I would like to, if I can jump in again though. I'm noticing that a lot of people are putting large pieces of trees in the wrong area. I know people, if there's little stuff in this pile and there's big stuff over here, put your big stuff over there with the big stuff. Because we were out there today and there was a tree trunk this big. Now somebody's gonna have to move that. Where if the person who had brought it originally just would have put it in the right place.
I understand it. They may have struggled to take it off, whatever they had to be enough.
Well, but it's just as easy to put it off on that side as it is on that side, so I just would like it if people would pay more attention, but, excuse me.
The other thing I wanted to bring up, I spoke with Tim, briefly about it before the council meeting, is I was hoping we could get something on our Facebook page or social media or have somehow to let people know that it is illegal in the state of Iowa to blow grass in the road. And for all the motorcycle riders we have in this town and come through this town, that is like riding ice when it's fresh cut grass, and it's a safety concern, so I was hoping we could. I know Tim Himes has got a lot on his plate and can't catch everybody blowing grass in the street, so we just as a community need to be better about it.
I think it's a good reminder.
Oh, I got nothing this evening there.
Oh, okay. Thank
Good
you.
thing we talk, isn't it?
Yeah. Nobody else does.
I do not have anything this tonight, but I want to remind everybody next week on Thursday night, the city is co-sponsoring Music on the Pulpit again with RMC celebrating their 75th anniversary of being in the town of Manchester. So please come down and see them. They're going to have a fantastic band. A.V. Grouse Band will be there. They've got lots of food trucks. The American Legion is going to be grilling as well. They've got, Mike Chapman's gonna be down there doing balloons. So it'll be a really nice event for everybody down there. So, and, hopefully they'll all get down there to enjoy it. With that, I will take your, yes.
What hours is that?
Oh, the music is from 6 to 9. Bring a lawn chair. You can bring a beverage, just no glass.
August 7th.
August 7th, yes, August 7th, Thursday, August 7th. And music is from 6 to 9, and yeah, it should be a great time, and hopefully the weather holds out. Looks like it's supposed to be beautiful next week, so hopefully the weather holds out for everybody. With that, I'll take a motion from Joe, a second from Linda, that we are adjourned, and we are adjourned.